Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. In this video, we are going to look at the new announcement by Sam Altman. GPT 4.5 is available. We will try to see what additional features it brings. It should be noted that today an article was published that perfectly detailed the features and innovations of this intelligence. We will discover it together. But of course, it should be noted that this technology is exclusively reserved. But for people who have a pro account, which means they pay $200 per month, and even at the API level of this new OPOP intelligence, it is much more expensive than that of GPT-4.5 or the 4.0 mini. You will see that for 1 million tokens, you had to pay about $75. That is, obviously, too expensive, too high if we compare it with the 4.0, which is only $2.5. We will try to see if it's worth using this intelligence and developing, programming, coding with GPT 4.5. Before continuing the video on YouTube, I wanted to introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am Dr. Fieras. I hold a doctorate in artificial intelligence, and today I am a popular instructor on the Udemy platform. On Udemy, I create courses in several categories. There are those in artificial intelligence and others in digital marketing. And today, I am proud to be an instructor who is actually popular on that platform. You will find that I have approximately more than 50,000 people who have purchased my courses, including 6,744 positive reviews. So, most of the courses have the badge, bestseller. And today, to actually thank my subscribers on YouTube, I have gathered all these courses into a single link where you can have access to all these courses. I will leave you. The link to these courses also comes with a special code for my YouTube community. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I publish almost daily free tutorials on YouTube about artificial intelligence, digital marketing. So I thank you very much and enjoy the course. So in the introduction, OpenAI has already started to explain a little bit about the two new features on this model, 4.5. First, they have implemented what is called unsupervised learning. So what is unsupervised learning? It's simply when we provide a lot of data and information to the artificial intelligence. This intelligence, if it works with an unsupervised model, will be able to understand the relationships between this data without me providing details, without me giving it information. So imagine that I give it 1,000 books. Thus, the intelligence will actually understand the information inside, the patterns, the information. And it will also, that's what is unsupervised actually. It will create the relationships between this data and these books. And that's what we call unsupervised learning. Indeed, it will actually allow it to recognize what we call patterns. And they will actually generate creative ideas and they will reason in a linear manner. And the second point that OpenAI has implemented is that here we have what we call more natural interactions. So for them, when you ask questions to GPT 4.5, the response won't be too long. It will be a much shorter response, but it seems natural. And that's what we call emotions inside. So as a result, it's as if it is written by humans. And that, of course, makes GPT 4.5. The conversation with it is like talking with a friend who knows us, understands us well, and has the ability to interact. There, it can know our next step, if you will, and as a result, the responses will be much more tailored. The areas in artificial intelligence, so here, they have implemented what is called scaling reasoning. Here, we are simply talking about what is called reasoning. That helps these models to build what is called a chain of thought, and that in fact helps to solve complex problems. It's as if when you send a complex request to GPT 4.5, before responding, it will make a complete plan to do everything that involves prediction. And afterwards, it will give you the answer. The same thing here. The part about unsupervised learning, here, in fact, it is highlighted. And this, it will actually support working with truly massive data, and it will use new architectures to connect and understand the knowledge between different patterns. Even if you don't explicitly teach it that, thanks to its unsupervised learning, it will be truly autonomous. So basically, these are the two features that 4.5 has just implemented. Don't forget, it is still in research preview mode. That means It's as if they are also testing, as if it's not the final version. Maybe it's a preparation for GPT-5, maybe thanks to the data and learning that will be done on 4.5, that's where they might just more launch version 5. If that's the case, maybe I understand the price, why it is very high. Perhaps they have reserved it only for companies that will need more advanced interactions in reasoning, but not for the normal user, or no, the user who is looking for a $20 subscription. Maybe that will be somewhat reserved for them. Reserved so they can further develop this technology to launch GPT-5. And 5A taken there, you go. At a price of 20, a normal price. Maybe this is a transition, it's a bridge to GPT-5. We will try to look a bit more into the functionality details, what is behind them, how they run, how they operate, to better understand this model and to better understand, in fact, what is its difference and what does it bring more. Very well, so here we will actually see two paths, where we will walk. In fact, on what we call unsupervised learning. And here we have what we call the reasoning part. So we will try to quickly understand the two paths. The first one here, it only shows GPT 4.5. It has 32.5%. It has the highest accuracy. And this axis in fact is the capacity for intelligence, the ability to absorb data and repeat patterns without needing to follow precise instructions. And GPT 4.5 is positioned well at the top of this scale here. And it has obviously been trained on a much larger volume of data. And there, it will simply read and understand the world much better. If it receives data, it doesn't need multiple clarifications. It is capable of understanding on its own. And if I look at this second diagram, we have this axis. This is the reasoning axis. In fact, this axis represents the ability to structure its thinking to solve complex problems. You know, when we send a plan to GPT, generally speaking, it makes a plan before responding. GPT 4.5 is the one that makes a much more precise, more refined plan than the few or the others. Here, the lower the number, the more precise it is. So, lower is better. So, in summary, 4.5 has simply been able to have a better understanding of the world. There you go, data of the world, and it makes fewer mistakes and is actually using much more natural responses, to improve writing. So that's a bit of the comparison. It should be noted that this is a comparison that GPT made only with its own models. It didn't do that here. In this article, there are no comparisons with other intelligences like Psychos or other intelligences, where there will really be other variances. Be careful, it won't be all. Always the top compared to other intelligences. Very well. So now we are going to try to see some comparisons of the evolution of GPT 4.5 in several areas. Everyday questions, professional questions, and everything related to creativity. Here in the section about everyday questions, we see that it has a 57% satisfaction rate for typical questions, like create an email for me, write me a recipe. So there you go, everyday questions. In the professional section, we are at 63.2%. And that means it is capable of better understanding tasks that are more specialized, more specific. It provides more advanced assistance for sectors that are specific. And in the creativity section, we are at 56.8%. And that seems a bit lower, but it's actually still, and there you go, an advancement, in fact, compared to the latitude of GPT 4.5 when it answers creativity questions. So it is a bit more comfortable, in fact, in proposing original ideas, writing texts, even helping, in fact, with graphic and design conception. And that, it says, that GPT 4.5 is considered more intelligent than the previous models. So, in the official article that was published by ChatGPT, where they make comparisons with several models across various benchmarks. And I just wanted to show you a little bit that sometimes when working with specific models, like here, the BioLP-Bench test, in fact, it's a specific test in biology. There are 800 questions derived from 11 laboratory protocols. And we will see and test, in fact, if these models actually have the ability to understand very technical models and instructions. So, If we look here, in fact, if I take GPT 4.5 post, we are at 29% accuracy. And actually, there are other models below, like Deep Search, and the O3 Mini. So it is not always in the first position. And here, in fact, it means that 4.5 does not yet surpass more specific or older models. That is to say, it is not always more accurate. There are still other older models that surpass 4.5. And here, obviously, it's proof that 4.5 is not the most powerful model of ChatGPT. So several comparisons have been made in various fields. We find the nuclear context, several contexts have been tested, but I'm ultimately interested in seeing a bit of the results in programming and coding. We'll see, there it is, that's it actually. In fact, here we have the diagram where I find, like an exam, OpenAI will run it for the different models to see who can achieve the best score. So it's an exam that contains 18 coding exercises and 97 multiple choice questions. There you go. The result I got was 4.5. If I look here, it is at 79% success rate on the programming exercise. It remains in the same position as Deep Search, but honestly, it is far behind if I compare it with O3 Mini, which is at 92%. That is to say, in terms of programming, there's nothing better than O3 Mini. It's the one designed for programming and coding. So as a result, it is much less. So you understand that the performance shown by the GPT-4.5 model is indeed interesting, but still it is not number one in several areas. And especially if I look at everything related to maintenance, engineering, everything related to coding, programming. And clearly, the 4.5 handles programming well, but not as well as the O3 Mini. So that's why the O3 Mini actually remains at the top level, and that's for multiple choice. In fact, it has 80%. The 4.5, it hasn't surpassed at the same level. In fact, so it is at 80%, a bit more than the Deep Search. So in summary, honestly, if I see that today, the 4.5 is accessible in Pro mode. You have to pay $200 per month first to access it. On top of that, the use of the API for there, you have it. To call upon this technology to do something else with other third-party applications, the price for input is $75. For 1 million tokens, it's too expensive. And for the output, if I want to send back the information, it's $150 for 1 million tokens. It has nothing to do if I compare it with the 4.0 mini model, as you see there, the prices. So it's really nothing to do with it. And so as a result, honestly, I don't know if it's worth testing the 4.5. Maybe we'll wait for the launch of GPT-5, which will be much cheaper and even more efficient. But until now, personally, with the usage I have today on a daily basis, I prefer to stick with the O3, especially programming, since I use programming apps. But the 4.5 is really expensive compared to the different results it provides. So just write to me in the comments what you think about 4.5, if it's worth it for you to buy and test it. And there you have it, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to support me, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue creating more free videos on YouTube. And if you want to join my community on Udemy, if you want to have more advanced, more detailed courses with more examples and practical workshops, I've put 2 packages on my website for you. The first one simply contains all my courses on artificial intelligence, automation, and our codes. And the second one is a complete package. It contains approximately 1,000 hours of training. You'll even find digital marketing inside. Don't forget to simply use the code I created especially for my YouTube community. It's a code that is YT20. This one will simply give you a discount of 20% on those packages. Please note, it's a code that is only valid for my YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much and see you soon.